Everyone, my name's Helen. I'm one of the pastoral coaches in the college. I'm going to take you through a bit of a step-by-step on how to draw a mandala. These are patterns, kind of geometric circular patterns that in some cultures have quite spiritual importance, but for us today we're just going to use it as a tool to help us be calm and be a little bit mindful. So I'll show you how to draw this one. This is what we're going to do. What you'll need is a pencil or a pen or felt or whatever you like to draw with, and a compass so we can make some circles. If you don't have one of these, don't worry, just collect up some things that you can draw around. So you could use coins, pennies and 2p's are smooth, so they're good to draw around, egg cups, glasses, cups, bowls, anything you've got to hand. And this is just an example. Yours doesn't have to be exactly like this. You might decide to change bits, tweak bits, and make it your own if you want to, or you can just follow along exactly as I do. Okay, so we'll get started. So to begin with, you need your pencil in your compass, and the middle design is quite a small little circle, so we'll do that first. And then the next one is just a little bit bigger. And then I went a little bit wider again. And like I said before, don't worry if yours isn't perfect, as exactly the same, doesn't matter. It's just having a go and being a bit creative. And then gone quite wide again. A couple more. And one last one. Okay, so it's done with our pencil and our compass. I like to do these with a pen, quite an inky pen, but you could do them with a pencil, you could do them with a felt tip, whatever you're happy drawing with. So we're going to begin in the middle and then work our way out. And in the middle, we've just got sort of little petals that we're going to draw. And one thing I would say is don't be afraid to turn your paper around. As it's a circular design, that can work really nicely to make sure that everything's symmetrical and everything's a similar size. So we're just going to start from the middle. And we're just doing these as little loops out to the line and back in, almost like little petals on a flower. So our next little layer has almost little upside down teardrops. So I'll do the first one slowly for you to see, and then I'll probably speed up around the edge, but you can obviously take as much time as you want to. So it's the next little layer that we're going to do. So starting just anywhere in that outside circle, we're just going to do a bit of an upside down teardrop. So thin at the bottom, round at the top, and then just add another layer. And we're going to go all the way around and add those on. One thing I just forgot to do was just to follow our circle, so I'm just going to go and fill that in now. And again, just turn your page as you go. Just adds a little bit of definition. Don't have to do that, up to you. There we go. Okay, now the next level, or next layer, looks kind of complicated, but it's not, it's super simple, and I'll show you how to do that now. We're going to start with these pieces, these like kind of oval eye shapes, and I've tried to place them in the middle of these little upside down teardrops. I'll show you what I mean in a second, and just use your pattern to help you place them. So in our empty area, I'm going to look between two of my little teardrops, and that's where I'm going to put my little eye shape petal. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way around and put them in the middle of okay, so that's the first part, and then next we've got these little loops in between, and we're using the bottom of the eye shape, little teardrop, to make those loops. So just kind of go a little bit slow with these. You might not have as much space between some of the shapes, so just take your time. So just choose the bottom of one of the little eye shapes, and you're going to come up to the line, make a loop, and come back down. And we're going to make little loops in between all of them. Okay, so that's the next layer done. We're just going to follow the circle round. Next little layer is quite a simple one, just lots and lots of little petals, or it kind of looks like lots and lots of little letter M's. So we'll do those. Okay, next layer is done. What we're going to do now is move on to a bit of a bigger layer. So this one will be probably a little bit quicker, but we're just going to use some of the inner pattern to mark out where we want to put our first little bits of design. So we're going to start with these little 3 shapes, and we're going to place them on every other eye diamond thing. So we'll put those in first, and then we'll add the other layers. So I'll try and do it as step by step as I can. So I'm going to go for one of these little eye shapes, and I'm just going to make 3 little petals together like that. And then I'm going to skip one, and then the next one is where I'm going to put my next 3. Back to the beginning. Next thing we're going to do is make these larger shapes. So just kind of taking the one that we left out and using that as our marker for these bigger shapes on the outside. So I'll show you what I mean here. This is the one that we left out. So I'm going to start there, curve up, point to the line, and curve back down at the one that we missed out. And we're going to go all the way around like that, turning the page as we go. Then we've just got some little parts of a circle just on the inside, and they're quite simple. Just going to put them in between the large petals. So just 2 little half circles, and then just a set of small circles on the outside. So we're moving on to our next layer now. I'm just checking the design. I think that layer's all done. So we'll move on to our second to last little layer. And this looks like it's using some triangles. And like we said before, don't worry if the triangle isn't perfect. Don't worry if there's little mistakes. It's absolutely fine. Once you finish the whole design, you won't even notice. And you could even just change it or tweak it to add that in if you wanted to. So we're going to start at the points of our big petals and just add a circle, and on that circle we're going to add a little triangle. And then what we've done is halfway between our small triangles we're going to put again this little 3 petal design, and then put a triangle on top of that. So these 3 petals and then a triangle on top. And then And on those big triangles, we're just going to add some little tiny triangles just for a bit more detail. These kind of little spiky edge. Again, we're going to just complete that circle to finish that layer. And don't worry if you go out of your pencil lines. Once your ink is dry, if you're using a felt or an inky pen, you can just rub it out and then you've been none the wiser. And I definitely suggest turning your page, going in little sections when you're doing your circles. Keep them nice and smooth. Okay, and the last layer, we've got these little curls with a teardrop and then tiny circles and a diamond. So I'll just show you how to do this bit first, and then we'll add in the other little layers before we complete our full mandala. So we're going to start at the top of our triangle, and we're going to go round in a curl to the top of the outside circle, and then kind of go back in on ourselves and connect the line. Do another one, round to the top, and make a little teardrop. And then we've just got our little kind of squashed diamond square shapes and little circles in between before we finish our circle. Okay, and then just around the circle to finish.